Hi there, so coming to you from a slightly different location today. I'm sitting in my bedroom next to my vanity, pretty much because I want to talk about all the things that I've been loving lately. I don't tend to do a monthly favourites because a lot of the time the products I use over and over again because I swear by a lot of them. I find when it gets into summer, I'm slightly opposite from some people. A lot of people find they've got less and less in their favourites because they wear less makeup in the summer and they wear more in the winter, whereas I find that actually I probably put more on in the summer. Things like bronzer, bronzing gels, highlighters, all this kind of stuff to make you look really radiant, I apply more in the summer, whereas a BB cream is essentially what I use most of the year round unless I've got somewhere to be going. I'm going to do things a little bit differently today. So as you can see, I am barefaced. I have my skincare on already. I'm just going to put on a little face of makeup and what I've been doing lately with the products that I've really been liking. So to start off, I've been using the Abhorrent CC cream. Now I used to love the Abhorrent BB cream, I swore by it. I just haven't bought it in so long and I've not been near a Sephora in a while. This CC cream is a little mini one and as you can see it is truly empty. So I'm not going to be able to use this time. This is the dark one, which I got in the depths of winter and absolutely no way could use. Now that I've got a little bit of colour on my face, I have been using this and I am going to look into seeing if I can order this online, maybe through Amazon or something like that. So for the purposes of this video today, I'm going to go back to an old faithful of mine, which is the number 7 Beautiful Skin BB cream, and mine's is the fair one. Now even for having a little bit of colour, I still find this does the job for me and I can apply bronzer on top, so it doesn't really matter. This one is for the dry to very dry skin. They come in different coloured packets. I think they have green and a pink one as well, which are all slightly different, but mine's is the dry to very dry. So the other day I had went to a kind of NARS thing that was happening in Argyle Street and it was quite good actually. It wasn't very busy. I don't know if it had been busier earlier in the day, but because it wasn't so busy, it was quite nice actually. And Anna from the theannaedit, if you watch her on YouTube, was there, and what an absolutely lovely lady. Like I can't even tell you like how pleasant she was. Just I always really enjoy watching her videos because I think she comes across really approachable and really like relevant, and I just imagine I could sit down, have a cup of tea and have a gab with her. And I find a lot of the people that I watch are kind of like that. I'm not really so much into the perfect lighted videos and stuff like that. It's not for me. But yeah, I met her the other day and I'm so glad. People are always like, oh, you don't know if you want to meet people because they might be horrible in real life, which I find hard to believe. I'm sure a lot of these people who are now influencers are quite humble, but no, she was so nice, so lovely. So that's the got a wee layer of that on. I just put it on with my fingers. You could put it on with a beauty blender if you want, but BB cream you don't really need to be putting on with a sponge and all that. I can't be bothered with it. I then go in my Glossier Stretch Concealer. My colour is light. Now again, this colour is light on my skin at the moment because I have a bit of colour to me, but it blends out beautifully and it's not really detectable. I do have kind of marking on my chin, scarring from spots. If I ever get spots, this is a funny thing, right? So throughout my teenage years, throughout my 20s, not a single pluck on my face. Not a one, not a never. Honestly, I couldn't even tell you when I got a spot. Throughout my 30s, which has only been like a year and a bit, but I have had so many spots all over my chin and I don't know what's caused it. I've used, you know, salicylic acids, I've used different things to try and just target that area because the rest of my skin is quite dry. And I don't know, I just seem to get them here. So I find the Glossier Stretch Concealer doesn't cover them entirely, but I don't mind some of my natural skin coming through unless I'm going somewhere and think this is a really glam night or something and I want my face to be perfect. But it's very rare that I need to do that, so I don't mind if it's not a full coverage concealer. I like it to look more natural. Sometimes what I might do is use the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer just to target areas that if there is actually an active spot going on to get rid of it. But generally that's enough coverage for me, it's okay. So that's my basic base, whether I'm in winter or summer, that's kind of what I will throw in my face. This right here, this is the game changer. I've been using this for maybe 3 years now, not this exact one. This is the Body Shop Honey Bronze. Now, I know NARS came out with a bronzing liquid, and I went into store the other day as well, the same day that I'd went to the event on Argyle Street, and they have a bronzing liquid which I have to say it's kind of the same. Like, I don't know, I obviously didn't have them side by side, but I've used this for 3 years and I found the NARS one looks like, I mean, it's nearly £30, and this is a fraction of the price from the Body Shop. I'll put prices all down below because I can't remember off the top of my head. This tube's lasted me just under a year. You get 12 months out of it as far as the sell by date is concerned, and a lot of the time I don't definitely go by them anyway, but it's fantastic. So it's like a clear gel. It's quite a strange consistency, and it looks very dark there, but it's kind of a transparent gel with a big tint to it. So I just take a kind of dual fibre brush and I start to like dab it on my hand. So I'm almost airbrushing my tan on. And then I just apply it in the places that I think I would naturally get a tan. So right across my cheekbones. Now it looks really dramatic when I first put it on, but I promise you, it blends in so nice and so naturally, so that it actually looks like you've just been out in the sun and really quite sun-kissed and flushed. If you have really, really fair skin, then maybe this might actually make you look a little bit sunburnt. It's not orangey, but I do feel it makes you look like you've got that tan where you've just been in the sun. It's got a red undertone to it, and that's why I like it. That's why I think it makes you look more natural. But if you're really fair, it might not work for you. So I just put it on my cheekbones, then on my nose. Because let's face it, it's a big bit of my face that sticks right out. I can't say enough about this stuff, honestly. Like, I know I always use that phrase, but I just think, considering the price of it, and if NARS have just come out with this liquid one, I mean, don't get me wrong, I like NARS, I like some of the stuff they do, but if I can buy a similar product for cheaper, then I'm going to be doing it. So just put that across there, and then I'll put some kind of round my temples and on my forehead. My fringe covers the majority of this area anyway, but just to even the face out. Sometimes I'll even take the brush there, just on my brow bone, just to make everything look really natural, and a little bit on my chin. And then the excess that's on my hand, I just put it right down my neck. Sometimes I can take it right across my collarbone as well, especially if I'm wearing something that is going to show it off, because the rest of me is actually not too bad a colour at the moment. But there we go. Excuse my hair, it's like 3-day-old waves, and I just could not be bothered washing it today. So that's me there. I like it because you can still see my freckles through it, you can still see my imperfections, but I just think it looks like now I've got a little bit of a tan, and it's fantastic. And as I say, I've been using it every summer. I've then been going in with one of two highlighters. I use my Halo Scope all the time from Glossier. I can't say enough about it, I love it. But sometimes you want to change things up a bit. So I have the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector, but it's the Spotlight one. This is an Opal. Now, I bought this as a mini set from Sephora. It came with this and Opal. Opal highlighter in the pan. If anybody wants it, please let me know, I will give you it, because it's just too dark on my face. I feel like when I put it on, there's a stripe right here, and when I look forward, it looks a little bit silly, but when I look to the side, of course, it's glorious. But in real life, I prefer a much more undetectable makeup. For nights out and things, fair enough, but I just am never going to use that. The Spotlight one, on the other hand, is a little doe foot. You just dot, 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 and just tap it in, and I think it's a lot more subtle. I think it's so much more subtle. The other one that I've been using is from H&M Beauty. It's a highlighter duo stick. These come in lots of different colours. One side is a really smooth highlighter. This one in particular is lovely. It's got a lovely opal pink sheen to it, a little bit like MAC's Pigment Opal. And this side has definite glitter particles in it, and is a lot more silvery. Like, you can see how striking that is on the back of my hand there. This side I don't tend to use so much, it's just a little bit too silvery and bright, but the pink side I've been really enjoying. For the purposes of today though, I am going to use the Becca. I just dot that across there. Put a little bit on my nose and just on my Cupid's bow. I do look really shiny in this light. It's just I'm sitting at the front of my house instead of the back of my house. At this time of night, the sun isn't usually in my front garden. I really like that. I think it's lovely, it's natural. You might run the risk of looking a tad greasy, but I'd rather look greasy than dry, especially having kind of dry skin. From there I go to an Old Faithful. It's Hoola from Benefit. I'm not going to go into detail, everybody knows what Hoola is. Everybody's probably seen it, tried it, had one at some point or another. I just go in with a really big fluffy brush, and then I kind of go I don't really contour. I don't really suit contour, it has to be said. I could probably do with it because I've got really big cheeks and a really big jawline, but I can't do it, that's the truth. I've tried to do it, I've tried to make it look natural as possible, but it's too overdone for me. And what I mean by that is, I don't mind when I see other people doing it and they've got really like full face heavy makeup on and it looks fantastic. But I don't wear full face heavy makeup very often. So if you're not wearing something that's quite a full base or a full coverage foundation, and then you're putting contour on, it can look a little bit strange. And I don't know how to pull it off, that's the truth. I don't know how to do it. So I just go ham on my bronzer. It's starting to look too light now. What's going on with this sun? Well, that's a bit better, isn't it? Turn the camera down. Brightness was a bit much. So I just go ham on the bronzer, take it down my neck. I really concentrate across here because that's the place where I'm going to get the most tanned. I do take it up into my hairline as well, but that's about it. I'm not too precise with it. I've got a big brush, I just whack it on. The other thing that I've really been loving is the Erdem blush from NARS. I've got Loves Me, which is the really bright pink one, but with a gentle hand. I think this works lovely. And the packaging for this was so lovely. It was so funny when I was speaking to Anna from the Anna Edit. She'd said, oh, have you got Orgasm, because it was the Orgasm tour that NARS were doing, have you got it on your cheeks today? I said, no, it's funny actually, because I actually have the Erdem Loves Me blush on. And she was like, oh, you're obviously a fan if you have the limited edition from the last collection. I was like, well, actually it's because when I was many moons ago done an internship with Erdem, so anything that Erdem brings out, I'm kind of like, if that's something affordable, I'm going to try and get it if I like it. But the packaging for this is gorgeous, and as you can see, this is a really bright pink blusher, and I could end up being in the danger of looking like a clown with this on, but with a gentle hand, it's beautiful. So even that's gonna be crazy. Tap it off a bit. Sometimes I just like stamp it on the back of my hand before I put it on my cheeks, and then just very gently bring it on the apples. This is the thing, like a lot of the time people, if I'm wearing bronzer, I don't bother with the blush because it's too much. It's all a bit like everything on your face at once. But again, I would rather look bronzed but virgin on, maybe a little bit pink, because that is naturally what my skin tone would do. If I got too much sun, it would look a little bit pink, so I don't mind that. And in the winter, when I'm paler, my skin will be flushed pink because it's cold, so it is a more natural tone for me to wear than a coral. Generally coral blushes don't suit me so much, so I do like a pink blush or a more deep berry toned red blush. There we go. Now, looking at that thinking, that's a bit ham. I don't think you can ever go too ham if it looks natural. What do we think? I don't know, maybe. Let's move along to eyes, because something I have been finding in the last maybe 3 months is that I used to love colour. When I was younger, I used to have pink eyeshadow, blue eyeshadow, green eyeshadow, yellow eyeshadow. The amount of palettes I have with colour in them is unbelievable, and it's been a while since I've used them, probably partly because of my job. I don't wear overly heavy makeup working in a hospital. I like things to be neutral, but also partly because I get a bit scared sometimes. You know, you're 31 and you start to think, I'm too old for all this, to be honest with you. But on my holiday this year, I actually picked up in duty free a beautiful eyeshadow from MAC, which is a bright green, and I picked up a bright yellow as well because I've been loving wearing the colour yellow so much. So I've had washes of colour yellow on my eyes. And then it was Pride last week and I just went the whole hog and done a rainbow look. Which actually, although it's not something I would wear every day, I love doing it. I forgot how much I loved playing with colour. So with that being said, I've got a couple of eyeshadows that I'm not going to apply today, but I'll just show you because I have been using them and absolutely loving them. The first one is a MAC single. I hate when you go through duty free because they don't give you the pans, so I'll have to take this out its little packet and put it in my palette. And it is in New Crop. It is a frost eyeshadow, and it is definitely like a grass green, apple green colour, and it is glorious. That's it there. Look at this. I'm just a mess now. It's so nice on the eyes though, so nice. And I think just on the eyelid and then blurred out with some tan round about it. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. I mean, look at it on my finger, look how frosty it looks. You should never trust finger swatches. The other single eyeshadow that I've really been enjoying is one from Kiko. Kiko aren't a company that I often buy eyeshadows from, but the next two items are both from them actually. And I was really fixated on getting a really nice yellow. And this is a very nice buttercup yellow. It does take a little bit of working. It's a little bit powdery, but if you build it up on top of a good base, the effect can be beautiful. I'm not even going to bother swatching this because if I swatch it on the back of my hand, it does look quite sheer. But as I say, I'm not looking for something frosted. It's a matte. It's just a really glorious colour. It is a really bright yellow. I don't think it does it too much justice when I put it on my arm. It looks really patchy. It is chalky. It's not terribly expensive. I'll put the prices below. Now the other item from Kiko is a palette. It is their Smart Eyes and Cheeks palette. I think I've mentioned this before as well. It comes with a blusher and these 4 eyeshadows here. These 3 here are mainly the ones I've been using. Sometimes use this in the outer corner as some kind of an eyeliner. But these ones here are the ones I've been mainly using. Actually this one here, when I've been using a kind of pink look on my eye, sometimes I'll put that through the crease, but it is just a little bit too deep for my skin tone, for my cheeks. My other absolute fail-safe has been the Glossier Lid Stars. Cub is probably my favourite, and it is the easiest way to do my eyes, and this essentially is what I've been doing alongside the skin that I've already put on. I just whack it over my eyelids. I'm not terribly precise about it. I'm not terribly neat. It has got a lovely sheen to it when it's that kind of wet way. But generally what I'll do is I'll just like pat it in a little bit because it looks a bit obvious. This actually, again, when I went to the orgasm tour the other day, was what I was wearing on my eyes. And over the top I put MAC Rose Pigment, which is a real striking rose gold colour. And I was asked what I had on my eyes by a few people. It does leave just a really good base to then build on top of. You could leave it like that, just a little wash of colour, and it's beautiful. But what I then do is maybe go over the top with a little bit of something. So I've been going in with the kind of more rust shade from this, a big kind of fluffy blending brush, and just going a little bit ham. On the actual area on the lid, sometimes I just leave it like this. Other times I will take the kind of copper tone and just place some of that right across the top, just to give it a bit more sheen. But I've really been enjoying this little palette. This palette was what I took on holiday to Greece with me. It's probably what I used the majority of the time I was there. Taking a pencil brush, I go back into the kind of rust colour again, and I just run that under my eyelid very slightly. Sometimes again I'll take Hoola and just run that under my eyelids. I don't use too much. Again, it's not really for a night out or anything like that, just for a little bit more definition around my eyes. And what I love about this palette as well is that the gold makes a fantastic inner corner highlight. So whether you can go for any look really, and everything is in the one palette. This is a winner. Although the blush isn't a colour I use on my face, it's definitely something I use in other eye looks. A great little palette. So that's pretty much me. I'll then put on some mascara, maybe put a little bit boy brow through my brows. That's about it, so I'll be back in 2 seconds. That's me, mascara on. So I don't have any eyeliner on, just mascara. I went to duty free at the airport, and it was, I think our flight was at like 4 or 5 in the morning or something like that. And it was when the assistants weren't at the counters, so we were going early in the morning. Duty free is open and you can buy things, but nobody was there apart from the MAC girl. The girl from MAC, the one I got the green eyeshadow off of, was there. I thought, God, MAC working hard. For that reason, I ended up picking up the brown version of Roller Lash because I love Roller Lash from Benefit. That's what I've got on today, and stupidly picked up the brown one and had to go into Fraser's and get it exchanged for a black, and they were very, very good about it. They just, no questions asked, straightforward, it is a like for like product, and gave me the black one. So I'm currently wearing this on my eye. So for highlighters, powder highlighters on the face, I've been going back to my H&M Delicate Pearl. I really like it. It's not too golden, it's not too frosty. For my skin tone, it really works very well. It's a much more subtle blush, which I prefer. See the faces you pull when you're putting on makeup? It's hilarious. I'm sure everybody thinks that. Mascara. That's that one, isn't it? Highlighter, I feel getting a bit like that. A bit like my nose, my schnoz, and a little bit right here. Because I do not have a big top lip. So sometimes I feel it helps a little bit. So that's pretty much the look I've been going for every day. I brush my eyebrows, sometimes I put boy brow serum, sometimes I cannot be bothered. But lips. Lips are the area I have no control, and I have to have every colour available. I find it very hard to rein in when I go on holiday to take just 2 or 3 lipsticks. So what I have been wearing mostly at the moment has either been nude, coral or red. Red for days where I just want a winged liner. I think classic red and black winged liner, that's fine. Nude for days I feel when I've got a lot of tan on, it looks quite nice with it. Sometimes a coral if the eye is more orangey. I also whipped this one out, which is an old one. I don't even know if they do it anymore. It's a gloss, and it's the first time I've put a gloss on my lips in goodness knows how long, because I can't be bothered with my hair sticking to my lips. It does my nothing. But it is the Naked gloss. It came with the Naked on the Go or whatever it was palette ages ago. It's probably out of date, but as you can see, I'm not too bothered with these kinds of things. And it is in SESSO. I don't know if they sell this anymore. It's like, it looks quite pinky there, but it's definitely like a nude gloss, and I really have been enjoying that. The Burt's Bees, the lipsticks and the kind of lip crayons I've been absolutely adoring as well. Again, both in a more neutral colour. The crayon that I have is in Sedona Sands. It's very neutral, nude colour. Very nice. Can you see that? So that is Sedona Sands. Also from Burt's Bees, the lipsticks that they do, I've probably spoke about these before, in Blush Basin. A little bit more pink than the crayon. That is a bit more pinky. I find these to be really moisturising, really easy to wear. This one's not quite as moisturising, the lip crayon, but it is a slightly deeper brown tone as well. So if I've put these on, sometimes I put the gloss over the top, but that's been the nudes that I have been wearing. The one coral that I've been having on my lips has been the Bourjois velvet. Now they do these in lots of types. So the Rouge Velvet, you know the ones I'm on about? They're like the liquid lip for Bourjois. I have them in quite a few wee colours there, but this one is the Soufflé de Velvet. So it's like more of a sheer one, and it is in a coral colour as well, but it is very sheer in comparison. It doesn't look sheer there, but on the lip it's very sheer. I think I might actually put that one on today. The other two products that I want to speak about is simply because I love them. Not necessarily for every day because they're drying, they're kind of liquid lip effect, but I've loved the effect they actually give on my lips. I think they're beautiful, and it is the NYX Powder Puff Lippies. They are gorgeous. I have Best Buds and this one is Group Love. So like a really true red and again a nude. That one there is Best Buds. And that one there is Group Love, and they are beautiful. I liken them to the Lancome matte shakers. I think they're very, very similar. Even the applicator is very, very similar. I'll just put this one. Mine is a lot darker. So they do a shade very similar to this. This is the Lancome matte shaker there. And actually when I was trying these in Boots, I had to go over and try this colour from the Lancome stand because I thought I do not want to buy the exact same colour. Like there's no point, so I ended up getting these two instead. But they're so similar, so similar, and so much cheaper. And I love these, I absolutely adore these, but those are such a good dupe. So what am I gonna put on? I think I'm just gonna go for ease and go with Blush Basin because it's one that I don't even really need a mirror to put on. It's fine. It's so straightforward. It's like the right kind of pinky nude for my complexion. If nudes are too flesh toned, just doesn't suit me. Looks ridiculous. But that's lovely. And I'll just put a little bit of the SESSO over the top. I'd like to think you still can get SESSO. Like, it's one of those minty flavoured ones. I don't know if they even still do them properly in their collection anymore. I know they've just brought out all the new ones in the silver packet. You can see the colour right through the middle. But I just think it's a really nice, like, easy coloured gloss to wear. And I say, gloss is not something that I wear very often. So it took a lot for me to get this out of the archives. So that is it for just now. This was a lengthy one. If you have made it to the end of this, thank you very much for watching. The reason that I've only really talked about kind of beauty stuff this time was because there was just so much to talk about. I thought I can't really go into clothing, what I'm reading, food, skincare, all that kind of stuff as well. It was just going to be too long. That was quite the amount already. So I thought it'd be easier to do it this way, show you how I've been wearing it, show you how I've been enjoying it. And hopefully you find that useful. Hopefully you see some things that if you weren't too sure about, you'll maybe now go and check out. As I say, I think that the absolute game changer for my summer routine, if you look at one thing, the honey bronze. It's great. I'm telling you this, and I bet you'll bloody go, and now they don't even do it anymore. I bet you it's not even there. Hopefully, I will link it below. Hopefully it will still be there. And I will see you in the next one. Bye!